Good evening. Welcome to Monday, February 26, 2024 Condo Review Board meeting. Pursuant to Chapter 107 of the Acts of 2022, this meeting of the Condo Review Board will be conducted via remote participation. We will post an audio recording, audio-video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of these proceedings as soon as possible following the meeting on the City of Somerville's website and local cable access government channels. Morena, if you can please conduct a roll call vote to ensure we have a quorum.
Okay. Chair Zasloff?
Present.
Vice Chair Byrne?
Present.
Board Member Champion?
Present.
Board Member Simeon?
Present.
Board Member Solis?
Present.
With all in attendance, we have a quorum.
All right. On that note, I will now call this evening's meeting to order. First item of business this evening are the applications for final permits. With the first application in front of the board this evening, that of 382 Broadway LLC, represented by Garrett Enos, and they are seeking a final conversion permit for units 1 and 2 and courtesy permits for units 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all at 382 Broadway. If the representatives present, if they can please state their name for the record and give us a brief overview of the application.
Yes, hi, Garrett Innes here. We've submitted all the required documents in order to convert units 1 and 2. They were owner occupied. And at this point in time, we're seeking the final conversion permits for these 2 units.
All right, great, thank you. At this time, I will open the, make a motion, open the floor for board discussion. If anyone, any fellow board members have any comments or questions for the applicant this evening? Seeing there are no questions for the representative from the board, the floor is now closed, and I will motion to open the floor for public commenting. If anyone in the virtual audience would like to speak in favor or against this application in front of the board this evening, located at 382 Broadway, now would be the time to do so.
We do have a hand.
Okay.
Ron Cavallo, 70 Victoria Street, Somerville, Massachusetts, a long-term resident of the city and a significant property owner.
Ron Cavallo, mobile.
Excuse me. I want to support the applicant, and I apologize. I want to support this application and all the other applications for condo conversions that will be presented before the commission this evening. I want to note that the taxes are going up again in Somerville, and I believe that this condominium ordinance is causing severe economic harm to the city of Somerville, which is in a disdainful state of disrepair as a neglected city. As a taxpayer, I am completely disgusted with this ordinance. I believe it is in violation of the United States Constitution, and I believe that the agenda in this city, which is essentially to tamp down economic development, is causing grave economic harm to the taxpayers, and I am furious. Absolutely furious. I'm furious about the physical condition of the city of Somerville, and I'm furious about the economic condition of the city of Somerville. And everything I'm saying applies to every conversion, and I hope every taxpayer that can hear my voice will understand the significance of the things that I am saying. It's the end of my comments.
Thank you very much. Comments have been noted and are now part of the public record. Morena, are there any other public commenters in the queue that would like to speak?
I don't see any other hands.
Okay. On that note, the public commenting period for 382 Broadway is now closed. In reviewing the outstanding documents, we now have the master deed and the engineer architectural report, which concludes the outstanding items to complete this application. On that note, I am prepared to make a motion for the board to vote on the final conversion permit for unit 1 and unit 2, and the courtesy permits for units 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 at 382 Broadway. Marina, if we can please conduct a roll call vote.
Okay, this is a vote for a final conversion permits for units 1 and 2 and courtesy permits for units 3 through 10 at 382 Broadway. Chair Zasloff,
Yes.
Vice Chair Byrne,
Yes.
Board Member Champion,
Yes.
Board Member Simeon,
Yes.
Board Member Solis.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Great. Moving along through the agenda, final permit applications. We have the application of Daniel Ustave and Delson Philo, and they are seeking a final conversion permits for units 1 and unit 2 located at 144 Holland Street.
Hello,
Please.
can you?
Yep, we can
Hi,
hear you.
Good evening, board members. My name is Daniel Ustayev. I am the owner at 144 Holland Street, along with my partner Delson Philho. He was unable to make it today, but I am representing us. We've submitted all the paperwork to get a final release permit. We bought this property in, I want to say, June 2022, and it was owner occupied. Never has been rented, and we did a renovation and are now just seeking the condo release permit.
Great, thank you. I will now make a motion to open the floor for board discussion. If any board members have any questions or comments for the applicant. Seeing there's no comments or questions from the board, the floor is now closed, and I will motion to open the floor for public commenting regarding the application at 144 Holland Street. If anyone in the virtual audience would like to speak in favor or against this application, now would be the time to do so.
I don't see any hands.
Okay. Public commenting period for 144 Holland Street is now closed. In reviewing the outstanding documents, we have the master deed and the engineer architecture report, and that finalizes the outstanding items from the original conditional approval. So on that note, I will motion to for the board to vote on the application for units 1 and 2 located at 144 Holland Street, seeking a final conversion permit.
Okay, this is a vote for a final conversion permit for units 1 and 2 at 144 Holland Street. Chair Zasloff,
Yes.
Vice Chair Byrne,
Yes.
Board Member Champion,
Yes.
Board Member Simeon,
Yes.
Board Member Solis.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
The next application in front of the board this evening is the application of Mark Feby, seeking a final conversion permit for unit 1 and unit 2 located at 15 Edmund Street, and they are represented by attorney Sheehan.
Yes, good evening, Mark Sheen of Adam Dash and Associates, attorney for Mark Feby of 15 Edmund Street. My client is seeking a final conversion permit for units 1 and 2 of this multi-family residence. My client has submitted the remaining 2 items required by the board, which were a master deed and property condition report. So now the board has a complete application. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Now make a motion to open the floor for discussion among the board. If any members have any follow-up questions for the applicant. Seeing there's no discussion amongst the board, floor is now closed, and motion to open the floor for public commenting period for the application located at 15 Edmund Street for units 1 and 2.
I don't see any hands.
All right, public commenting period is now closed. In reviewing the application, we have the 2 remaining outstanding items submitted at this time, which include the master deed and the engineer slash architectural report. That completes the application process for 15 Edmund Street. And I will now make a motion for the board to vote on that final conversion permits for units 1 and 2 located at 15 Edmund Street.
Okay, this is a vote for final conversion permits for units 1 and 2 at 15 Edmund Street. Chair Zaslav,
Yes.
Vice Chair Byrne,
Yes.
Board Member Champion,
Yes.
Board Member Simeon,
Yes.
Board Member Solis.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right. Moving along, the final application from the board this evening, seeking a final conversion permit is the application of 63 Putnam Street LLC. And they're seeking a final conversion permit for units 1 and units 2 at 63 Putnam. And they are again represented by attorney Sheehan.
Mark Sheen of Adam Dash and Associates, attorney for 63 Putnam Street LLC of 63 Putnam Street. My client is seeking a final conversion permit for units 1 and 2 of this multifamily residence. My client has submitted the remaining 2 items required by the board, which were a master deed and a property condition report. So now the board has a complete application. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now motion to open the floor for discussion amongst the board. If there's any comments or questions for the applicant. Seeing there is no follow-up from the board, the floor is now closed, and motion to open the floor for public commenting for 63 Putnam Street. Anyone in the virtual audience would like to speak in favor or against the application this evening, now would be the time to do so.
I don't see any hands.
Thank you. Public commenting is now closed. In reviewing the outstanding items, we now have the master deed and the engineer's report as part of the final outstanding items necessary to complete the application process. So on that note, I am prepared to make a motion for the board to vote on the final conversion permits for units 1 and 2 located at 63 Putnam Street.
Okay, this is a vote for final conversion permits for units 1 and 2 at 63 Putnam Street. Chair Zaslav,
Yes.
Vice Chair Byrne,
Yes.
Board Member Champion,
Yes.
Board Member Simeon,
Yes.
Board Member Solis.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Great. Thank you very much. We now move on to the preliminary condo conversion permits in front of the board this evening. With the first application, that of 14-16 High Street LLC, Wilner Alexis, who is seeking a preliminary non-rental conversion permit for unit 1 and a preliminary rental conversion permit for unit 2 at 14-16 High Street. And this application is represented by attorney Sheehan.
Yes, Mark Sheen of Adam Dash and Associates, attorney for 14-16 High Street LLC of 14 through 16 High Street. My client is seeking a preliminary non-rental conversion permit for unit 1 and a preliminary rental conversion permit for unit 2 of this multifamily residence. The property was purchased vacant by my client and it still remains that way. We have submitted the complete application, proof of prior owner occupancy for unit 1, paid final water bill, certificate of good standing, and a bank check payable to the city of Somerville for $1,200. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. At this time, I will make a motion for the board to open the floor for board discussion. If any board members have comments or questions for the representative. Seeing there is no discussion amongst the board, we'll continue to move along and close the floor. And I will make a motion to open the floor for public commenting. Anyone in the virtual audience would like to speak in favor or against the application located at 14-16 High Street for units 1 and unit 2, now would be the time to do so.
I don't see any hands.
Thank you. Public commenting period is now closed. In reviewing the documents submitted for this preliminary conversion permit, we have the owner affidavit notice. We have the certificate of good standing in hand. We have a final paid water bill as of 2/1. We have the quitclaim deed, and we have a check in the amount of $1,200 to cover units 1 and 2. At this time, we are still awaiting a master deed and engineer / architect report to be submitted. However, I'm prepared to make a motion for the board to vote on a conditional condo conversion permit on the condition that the 2 outstanding documents are submitted to city staff at a future date.
Okay, this is a vote for a preliminary non-rental conversion permit for unit 1 and a preliminary rental conversion permit for unit 2 at 14-16 High Street with the conditions that Chair Zasloff just listed. Chair Zasloff,
Yes.
Vice Chair Byrne,
Yes.
Board Member Champion,
Yes.
Board Member Simeon,
Yes.
Board Member Solis.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right, thank you. Moving along, next application in front of the board for a preliminary conversion permit is the application of Frederic in Sicily, Bartholomew, and they are seeking a preliminary rental conversion permit for unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, located at 36 Burnside Ave, and they're represented by Attorney McGinn.
Yes, can you all hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. Yes, my name's Attorney Cameron McGinn from Pressman and Kruskal, representing the Bartholomews in their preliminary rental conversion permit application for units 1, 2, and 3 at 36 Burnside Avenue. We have provided for the board's consideration the application packet along with a certificate of good standing, a final water sewer bill, a copy of the deed into the applicant, the $1,800 application fee, and then an affidavit and supporting documentation relating to the tenants. The property was purchased this past fall. It was purchased vacant and remains vacant. We have included an affidavit of the applicant's attempts to identify the former tenants who occupied the property under the prior owner within the last 12 months. A letter was sent to the prior owner requesting contact information from the tenants. We have proof of delivery of that letter with a copy of the green card included. We then received an email response from the prior owner with the contact information for the applicant, for the tenants. We then reached out to all 3 former tenants. One tenant asked for a notice of condominium conversion to be sent to them via certified mail. We did that and included the green card in the application. The other applicant I spoke with via email, and they confirmed that email notification was sufficient and docu-signed a form indicating as much, which we've included. And the third tenant, we unfortunately were unable to contact. We were able to contact, but we're unable to correspond with. For that, I've provided a chart of attempted outreach and an affidavit. We were able to get her on the phone, but she hung up. She did not want to engage with us. I also have included all copies of the emails with former tenants. So with that, we ask for your consideration.
All right, thank you very much. On that note, I will now make a motion to open the floor for board discussion. Any board member has any questions for the representative? Seeing there's no discussion amongst the board, I will now motion to close the floor and make a motion to open the floor for public commenting period. If anyone in the virtual audience would like to speak in favor or against this application, now would be the time to do so.
I don't see any hands.
Excuse me. Public commenting period is now closed for 36 Burnside Ave. In reviewing the application packet, we have noted that the notice has been submitted. We have affidavits outlining the outreach to the former owner and tenants. We have the certificate of good standing dated 1/25, paid water bill dated 1/10. We have the quitclaim deed and a check in the amount of $1,800 for the 3 units seeking the preliminary rental conversion permit. At this time, we are still awaiting the master deed and engineer architect report. On that note, I am prepared to make a motion for the board to vote on a conditional preliminary rental conversion permits for units 1, 2, and 3 located at 36 Burnside Ave on the condition that the master deed and engineer report is submitted to city staff at a future date.
Okay, this is a vote for preliminary rental conversion permits for units 1, 2, and 3 at 36 Burnside Ave, conditioned as Chair Zasloff just stated. Chair Zasloff,
Yes.
Vice Chair Byrne,
Yes.
Board Member Champion,
Yes.
Board Member Simeon,
Yes.
Board Member Solis.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. On to our last application in front of the board this evening for preliminary conversion permit. And that's the application of the BC Family Trust. And they're seeking a preliminary non-rental conversion permits for units 1 and 2 located at 89 Pearson Ave.
Yes, you get to hear from me a second time, so.
You can
This,
just please state your name for the record just one more time.
Absolutely. So my name is Cameron McGinn. I'm an attorney at Pressman and Kruskal, and I represent Stephen Smith Cody and Amanda Hudson Beck, trustees of the BC Family Trust, in their application for a preliminary non-rental conversion permit for units 1 and 2 located at 89 Pearson Avenue in Somerville. We've provided an application for the board's review. The property was used as operated similarly to a single family home for the applicants. And so we ask for a waiver of the 1-year waiting period, as there have been no tenants in the property during my client's ownership. We've produced an affidavit of owner occupancy with supporting documentation. We've also submitted the certificate of good standing, the final water sewer bill, a copy of the deed into the applicant with a trustee certificate, a $1,200 application fee, and we've also provided the property condition report. The only outstanding item is the master deed, which we will provide at a later date.
Great, thank you. On that note, I will now make a motion to open the floor for discussion amongst the board. Any board members have any questions or commentary for Attorney McGinn? All right, seeing there's no discussion amongst the board, the floor is now closed, and make a motion to open the floor for public commenting. If anyone in the virtual audience would like to speak in favor or against the application in front of the board this evening for units 1 and 2 at 89 Pearson Ave, now would be the time to do so.
I don't see any hands.
All right, public commenting is now closed. in reviewing the application, property was former owner occupied single family. There is no waiting period associated with that. We have the certificate in good standing as of 1/26. We have a final paid water bill as of 2/9. We have the quitclaim deed. We have a check in the amount of $1,200, and we have an engineer architect report also included in this preliminary application. At this time, we are still waiting the master deed, which the representative stated will be submitted at a future date. So with that, I am prepared to make a motion for the board to vote on a conditional preliminary non-rental conversion permit for units 1 and 2 located at 89 Pearson Ave on the condition that the master deed is submitted to city staff at a future date.
Okay, this is a vote for a preliminary non-rental conversion permit for units 1 and 2 at 89 Pearson Ave, conditioned as Chair Zaslav just stated. Chair Zaslav,
Yes.
Vice Chair Byrne,
Yes.
Board Member Champion,
Yes.
Board Member Simeon,
Yes.
Board Member Solis.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You as well.
And with that vote, that concludes the applications in front of the board this evening. And I am prepared to adjourn this meeting if we can get a second.
I second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Enjoy the
Thank
weather.
you. You too. Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.